What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to Knicks Deli, baby. I'm your host, Sheer,
Knicks Deli Edition.
and this is Knicks Deli Edition. So there is a game tonight. The New York Knicks are back in action against the Sacramento Kings. And I wanted to hop on here with a more traditional version of Knicks Deli for you guys. But before I get into all of that, let me just welcome you to my channel. If you're here for the first time, I want to thank you for joining me. Check out the video, but do me a favor. Before you do, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you know anytime I'm dropping videos or new content. And if you're returning to the channel, my KD community, you already know what it is. Welcome back. Welcome back. You know we roll deep up in this piece. Now, you know you can't have those people who really support what it is that you do if you don't have those people who don't, and we call them the ops.
This bitch.
We know you in the comments section. We know you're viewing the video and you ain't leaving no comments. You ain't throwing up no likes. You're actually probably throwing down the thumbs down. I got news for you though. KD community, we circle the block.
We circle on the block.
We spin the block. But you know what? We feed everybody here at Knicks Deli. So I want you to sit down, have a seat, and enjoy. Okay? You're welcome here as well. If you're new to Knicks Deli and you don't know what it is that we do here at Knicks Deli, let me explain it real quick. Here at Knicks Deli, there are 4 items on the menu. There is first the bacon, egg, and cheese. All right? You can't see the bacon, the egg, and the cheese. It's the bacon, egg, and cheese. Okay? And we have that 3 components either of the game or the topics surrounding the team that come together to make that thing one of the best sandwiches in New York. Next on the menu is the dollar slice, and everybody knows New York has the best pizza in the world. So here in Knicks Deli, we look at the dollar slice. The dollar slice symbolizes stability in New York. So we're going to see either during the game who is the stabilizing factor, or what's the topic of conversation happening at this time that's a stabilizing component to the Knicks season that adds to the theme of the season. Then we look at the chopped cheese. Chopped cheese is relatively new to that New York menu, but that thing be bussin'. So we want to talk about who's the chopped cheese of the game. What's the relatively new type of topic that, you know what, makes this thing a little bit more spicy, okay? Now you can't have the chopped cheese. You can't have the dollar slice. You can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese unless you wash that thing down with something. Pause.
Hey yo.
Hey yo is right, okay? Unless you got something to wash that thing down with. Here in Knicks Deli, we call that the quarter water of the game. So what is the topic? Who is the person that becomes the quarter water of the game? We're going to wrap this thing up and then tie it all up. Get excited for this game tonight, man. There's a lot of momentum building, emotional activities that have taken place over the last 48 hours that'll give us excitement going into this game tonight, okay? But let me stick to the script. Now, let me not get off a course. But before I go into any of that, I want to do Sheer's top 5, baby, here at Knicks Deli.
Knicks Deli Edition.
Sheer's top 5. I want to give a shout out to some of my new subscribers. Shout out number 1, Opal Rodney 4912. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Next up, my guy Donald Demo. Shout out to you. Round of applause for Donald Demo. Let's go. New York round of applause. Next up, we have Jay Dragon. Next up, we have Leon Pouncey, 7975. And last but not least, my guy at the same gym, T Bias 7978. Shout out to you, my guy. Welcome to Knicks Deli, baby. All right, good. Now let's dive in. The New York Knicks face the Sacramento Kings tonight, okay? The New York Knicks are riding a 3-game win streak. I'm excited. It's a little bit emotional at this time as well because 2 of our guys are now all-star starters. Once, for the very first time in terms of the back, like having a backcourt and a front court player since Pearl and Clyde. That don't make no sense, right? 2 all-star starters since Pearl and Clyde. Okay, so that's something I'm super happy about, man. This team, whether it's individually or as a collective, are continuing to find ways to etch their names in the history books, whether it's with the team or with the NBA. So that's something that I really am excited about. I'm excited to see the fan base and their emotional responses and them having the opportunity to just brag a little bit. You know what I mean? To brag over the Trae Youngs and even the LaMelo Balls and all of that. Just to stick their chest out and continue to be proud of something. A lot of people outside of New York will look at it and poo-poo and be like, oh, act like y'all been there before. No, Ninja, we haven't. We haven't been there in 25 years. So you're going to have to deal with this. Let us rock. Let us enjoy. Don't be trying to be so quick to tamper our fire. We ain't going down like that. Okay? So the New York Knicks fans, I'm super excited to see that they're happy. But we're on our grind again. Okay, we're back on our grind. The Sacramento Kings always are a formidable opponent for us, especially because of their makeup. A few years back, I used to refer to them as the New York Knicks West, because it seemed as if they had literally designed their team the same way. So they got a fast star point guard. They had, they got shooters at the 2 position. You know, they got Domantas Sabonis. At that time, we had Julius Randle. You know, really, they were really built like a mirror image of who we are. And then they brought in Mike Woodson, who had brought that defensive element. And literally, we were looking like carbon copies of each other. So they're slightly tweaked right now. The Sacramento Kings are 23-21 with a recent loss to the Denver Nuggets. They had a coaching change. And for many of you who are a little bit old school, you may recognize who their coach is. Their new coach is a former New York Knick, drafted by the New York Knicks, by the name of Doug Christie. Round of applause for Doug Christie. But the Sacramento Kings are now, at this point in time, considered a dark horse for the finals in the Western Conference. Lately, in their last 12 games, they won 10 of them. So I don't know if you've been following the progression in their record or whatever have you. Don't necessarily get fooled by their record. They're on a little bit of a run, and they're definitely dangerous as an opponent. So for the bacon, egg, and cheese, we're going to make this Sacramento, okay? So we're going to talk about who's the bacon. The bacon, in terms of us giving a little bit of a scout report on the profile of that squad, we're going to have the bacon be Domantas Sabonis. So if you don't know much about the Sacramento Kings, Domantas Sabonis is at their 4 position. I don't know if they have him playing a 5 or not, but he used to give Julius fits. But on the flip side, Julius used to give him that work as well. So Domantas Sabonis is this season averaging 20.8 points a game, 14.2 rebounds a game, and 6.3 assists. Him and Karl-Anthony Towns are looking at each other like the Spider-Man meme. They're looking at each other like, damn, our numbers are almost identical. Okay? So I think it's something that Cat should be looking forward to. It should be a great game. And this is almost going to assure you that no matter the struggles that Cat is having with his thumb injury, he's going to play for this one, because it seems like he makes sure he shows up for that star matchup. So look forward to Cat getting out there and really going up against this guy. Domantas Sabonis is the current doubles leader in the NBA. And I just think as long as Cat plays, it should be a great watch, especially for both fans of both teams. So bacon of the bacon, egg, and cheese goes to Domantas Sabonis. The egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese today goes to DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is the 2 guard for the Sacramento Kings, currently averaging 21.5 points per game. That is a little bit of a drop since he signed with the Sacramento Kings. But if you ever hear me talk about Midi City with McCall Bridges, this man is a longtime resident of Midi City. And what I mean by that is his mid-range game is legendary. He almost has a non-existent 3-point shot, although I think I may have heard that he's been taking more 3-pointers since he's been in Sacramento. But he's forever dangerous, and he's something that I think, since I talked about Midi City, I'm going to be curious to see him and McCall go back and forth in terms of that mid-range and how dangerous they can be, whether it's a mid-range shot or slash into the basket as well. So that's my watch. If I'm going to say matchup, I know there may be two different positions at this time, but I'm going to say take a look at the mid-range impact on the game between DeMar DeRozan and Mikal Bridges. Okay. And who is the cheese of the bacon, egg, and cheese? And of course, I left this for last. The cheese of the bacon, egg, and cheese is going to be this guy, De'Aaron Fox.
This bitch.
Let me tell you about this snitch, okay? Hear me out, all right? I'll hit his stats. Then I'm going to go on to why New York Knicks fans should be especially pumped about watching this game and watching it closely, because this dude has been on some ish.
This bitch.
So let me just say that De'Aaron Fox is a stud. He is a stud point guard for them. 26 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Okay, this season the man has really been. Although those numbers are impressive, you know, even with those numbers, he's had trade rumors as recently as last month about whether or not he should be traded. Okay, and for some odd reason, this Fox wants smoke with the New York fan base. Okay, now I don't know if you've been paying attention over the past few seasons, but I have, and many of you know what I'm talking about because Knicks fans, we're on top of everything. Okay, pause. Shit.
Hey yo.
Hey yo. But let me break this down, okay? Let's go back to 2020. The year of Zion and the world ishing on the New York Knicks. It was a regular occurrence. It was the media. It was other fan bases. They were laughing and ha-haing and key-keying. They had spots in movies. There was a recent movie called Soul, and they was talking about how they used to, curse the Knicks or something like that. Everybody was getting on us. But back in 2012, I think 2019 was the year that Zion got drafted. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but around that same time, the New York Knicks had enough cap space. They had maneuvered and created enough cap space to be able to sign Kevin Durant, who had pretty much been dropping hints that he was ready to leave the Golden State Warriors. And the word on the street was that he was trying to head to New York. So the potential for getting Zion Williamson, Kevin Durant, and then Kyrie was also positioning himself to be a free agent. And there was the footage of them talking in the hallway to each other, and everybody thought they both were going to team up and come to the Knicks. And then Stephen A. running his god doggone mouth, talking about, I know it's almost guaranteed he's going to be in New York, and New York Knicks. And so he had all of us hyped. And then the moment that didn't happen, did not happen, everybody took that opportunity to bathe in the tears of the New York fan base. And if you ask me, De'Aaron Fox was one of them, right? So shortly after that, okay, I know I'm taking a long way around, but I'm going to get to it. Shortly after that, the only thing that New York Knicks fans wanted was hope. We wanted KD, we wanted Zion, we wanted Kyrie, and the draft didn't do it for us, okay? Now, once we missed on Zion, KD, and Kyrie, like I said, it gave more content for everybody to talk about the New York Knicks and to stomp on our graves. And with that being said, at that part, the most heartbreaking thing was that at that point, there were generations who were growing up now playing in the NBA and who are now fans of the NBA, who were ingrained in that culture of, the cool thing is to disrespect the Knicks, and De'Aaron Fox is one of those players who was young, who was an upcomer, who had no idea he has no idea the fact that the NBA is a business, and one day the New York Knicks may be a potential employer for you. But he took this opportunity to jump on the bandwagon, and in 2021, De'Aaron Fox had to do just that, jump on the bandwagon. In the draft, where the Knicks were projected to draft either one of the top 3, right? Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, okay? And then the way the record ended, it was projected that the New York Knicks would end up with the number 3 pick in that year's draft, with those 3 stud players. Okay. And then the lottery happened. And when the lottery happened, all New York Knicks, the odds and the numbers were that the New York Knicks would land at the number 3 pick. But of course, it didn't go our way. And the New York Knicks ultimately ended up landing the number 8 pick. And we were crushed. Okay. It's enough. See, it's enough that the media knew at that point in time, you got to find out where Knicks fans are going to collect, and you need to be there so we can get their responses and we can make their emotional disappointments a story, right? But this young man at that time, while we were crushed to bits and pieces and the world was sprinkling us on their ice cream cone, this ninja De'Aaron Fox wants to rush to Twitter. And this is what he typed up. We caught a random stray. This came out of nowhere because at no point in time did we even think, nobody was thinking about, at that point, De'Aaron Fox didn't have any moments with us. He didn't have any moments where he was a villain or whatever have you. So this was a stray that we caught on that day. He's going to run to Twitter and type, yo, I know they sick, number 8. And everybody was just like, who are you? First off,
This bitch.
who are you? And what are you talking about? So he would follow up with that and say, hey, y'all. He said, hey, y'all so hurt, bruh. And he had the I'm dead emoji sign. And then after that, he said, so hurt. So you continuing to bring attention to try to garner Knicks fans' attention. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I mean, you know what? Nobody pays enough attention to you in the West. Nobody pays enough attention to you out there in Sacramento. That you have to pay attention and watch and then tweet to get the attention of Knicks fans. We have zero connection to you. All right. And then there was a game after that where we played them a close game, and it was RJ Barrett that was still here. He stripped the ball from RJ, scored the basket, and won the game. And then shortly after that, he gonna run onto Twitter and post a clip of that play, and then try to troll Knicks fans. And then one of the most recent ones, there was a clip, or I think a TikTok clip, where they were asking players in the NBA, what was the worst arena that you played in? What's the worst arena that you played in? And this man is going to go on there and say Madison Square Garden. He was just, and even the interviewer was just like, what, man, what? He said, yeah, I think it's just outdated and it needs an upgrade. So collectively, join me as we say,
This bitch.
and enjoy the game tonight. If for nothing, just that. Enjoy the game tonight. Because now it says that he may not even play tonight. I think his condition, whatever he's struggling with, I think ironically it's a thumb injury. I think he's been downgraded in terms of his readiness to play tonight. But I want the smoke. I want all the smoke. The man is, he's a beast player. He's one of the fastest players with the basketball in the NBA today. But I want that smoke. I want all that smoke. So the cheese of the bacon, egg, and cheese goes to this dude, De'Aaron Fox. All right. Next up is the dollar slice. Who gets the dollar slice of the game here in Knicks Deli, baby?
Knicks Deli edition.
Dollar slice of the game goes to Cat. Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns isn't on the medical ledger for tonight's game, which means that he should play. Okay. And that's why he gets the dollar slice. This man has just been tough. He's been tough he's played through really hard bumps and bruises. He's played through injuries. He's shown toughness. He's reliable to his teammates. He's been more than everything we could have asked for from that trade. More than anything we could have asked for from that trade. Okay? He's always good to show up for opposing all-star bigs as well. And tonight is going to be a test for him. So he's met pretty much every test that's been placed before him, and he's given people buckets. He's given his opponents buckets. And tonight will be no different. So let's give a round of applause for Karl-Anthony Towns, the dollar slice of the game. Next on the menu is the chopped cheese. But before we hit the chopped cheese, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, man, it helps out with the algorithm and it's just the right thing to do. All right. Next on the menu is the chopped cheese, baby. The chopped cheese relatively new to that New York menu, but that thing be bussin'. Who is the chopped cheese? And the chopped cheese is going to go to our captain, Jalen mother flipping Brunson. Round of applause for Jalen Brunson. Okay. Jalen Brunson, this is the reason he gets the chopped cheese. While we were really voting our hearts out, trying to do our best to make sure that he got close to enough votes that were respectable to match just the type of performance that he's been putting out over the past 3 seasons. A lot of us were discouraged. Because we were like, no matter what we do, there's this New York bias. It almost seems as if he may not be flashy enough or have as much swag enough to be able to get the attention of anybody outside of New York or outside of the country, because international fan bases are a thing now. And we were just like, damn, what we got to do, we don't know what we got to do when you have players like LaMelo Ball, who is leading all fan votes. But then what came out and was dropped was the top 10 jersey sales, top 15 jersey sales in the NBA. And I'll be god doggone it if Jalen Brunson's jersey sales isn't number 4. Number 4. Let's go. Number 4. This man's jersey sales is number 4. Only behind Jason Tatum, LeBron James, and Steph mother flipping Curry. Bruh, is it real? Like, I don't know if this is real, man. I don't know if this is real. This is real wild, I can tell you that much. I don't know if this is real, bruh. Jalen Brunson, number 4 in jersey sales in the NBA. All right? The man, let me tell you the reasons why I think. First and foremost, I just think he's relatable. He's relatable to players who are picking up the basketball and aren't the freak athletes like the Ja Morant is. That are not, the freak in terms of size and athlete like a Wembanyama is. He's relatable, where you could put on a Jalen Brunson jersey and be able to beat an opponent with regular moves, with big fundamental type moves or little fundamental type moves. So with that, I think he's relatable. He's skilled. And at the same time, he's beating more athletic, more popular, more iconic players with a surgical precision level of footwork and a killer mentality. And I think people are connecting to him being a small guy against all odds in the biggest city of New York and a killer, But at the same time, something that I think we can't underestimate is that he's kid friendly. He is kid friendly. If you think of the Ja Morants and the challenges surrounding him lately, if you think of even LaMelo Ball, every other interview LaMelo Ball has, he's cursing. You know what I mean? And that's him. That's what he does. He truly needs media training, because I think even with him being that way, he's still number 1 in fan votes. Okay, but look at where he is in terms of jersey sales. I think, Brunson is ahead of him. And that's because parents, if they buy the jerseys, then the kids are going to want to watch them play even more and watch them talk. And then, that's not necessarily the best example. Okay. So Jalen Brunson, man, he has a great cast of characters around him. So his connection with his teammates is an example that parents can say, look, he's the leader of the team and everybody supports him. Even recently, Karl-Anthony Towns, when they talked about whose team and supporting, he was just like, yo, this has always been Cap's team. I just want to make sure I'm doing my part to be able to contribute to winning. Look, it's the perfect thing that you want to hear from this dude. And we know he's clearly a dominant player, but he clearly knows the head of the snake is Jalen Brunson. Okay. And we're in a big market. And I think that has now helped us in getting him more exposure. But I always will go back to the character part, where we really have been, and this is something that the front office has to be commended for. They have changed the culture. They got rid of any player who seemed selfish. They got rid of any player who didn't put winning first and foremost, and who didn't have a clean type of background. Who on our team? Who on our team has off-court issues like that? Yeah, man, that's exactly what it is. So, just kudos, man, to Jalen Brunson, number 4 jersey sales. Beginning of the season, there were a couple of narratives that I was really pressed on. Fan votes and the fact that there was such a bias that they wouldn't give Jalen Brunson that notoriety because of his style of play, and he's very take care of business, technical footwork, not athletic, serious, I'm a killer. Okay? Pressure, nothing. New York, I take that pressure, I eat it for lunch, nothing. I was wrong about that. I was wrong about Karl-Anthony Towns, man, and just him being soft and didn't want his softness in New York and Big Purr and his, created animations after a big play. I was wrong about all that. I was wrong. I was just wrong about all that. And it's a pleasant surprise. It wasn't being negative against the team, but it's being pleasantly surprised to be wrong. I'm happy about it. I'm happy about having been wrong about it. So let's give a round of applause just for our guy and our team, our captain, Jalen motherflipping Brunson. Now, who gets the quarter water of the game? The quarter water has to go to our guy, Josh Hart, bro. Josh Hart. We can't say enough about Josh Hart. Bro, look, it's been insane. The type of season this man has had. He's had superstar impact without being a superstar. The man has had superstar impact without being a superstar. Hear what I'm saying? The insane season is coming off of a magic run that he had in last year's playoffs. It's crazy. Let me run this down to you. The man is first in rebounds at the guard position in the NBA. The man is second in double-doubles in the guard position in the NBA. The man is currently sitting at 4th in triple-doubles in the NBA. It doesn't matter what position. 4th. And the man is 4th in rebounds and assists combined. He's leading all players in rebounds since January 1st, no matter what position you're at. The man has a nonstop motor. He's relentless, but at the same time, the man is fun. He's goofy. He's a great leader. And Josh Hart is a winner. Round of applause. Drop a bomb on him, Flex, for our guy Josh Hart. Now, everybody, who is the nah, son, nah, you wildin'?
Nah, son, nah, you wildin'.
Moment of the game, person of the game. And this is going to be going back. We're going to have to go back here at Knicks Deli
edition.
We're going to pick Karl-Anthony Towns as the nah, son, nah, you wildin'. Moment of the game goes to Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns, during the game at Philadelphia, got injured. He was sitting on a bench with a Philadelphia Eagles jersey or shirt. And it's so funny because it's so obvious. He's out there on the bench, this big green and white shirt on that he is wearing. And he got to know that I think he's starting to get notification that Twitter's starting to bubble. Twitter is starting to bubble. And I know he probably got that notification early because, Knicks fans, we don't play. He got that notification early. So that second quarter had to be an uncomfortable one because he had to sit that whole second quarter looking like, oh, he don't know what's going on. No, I don't really know what's going on. Halftime came, the man walked into the locker room Halftime was over. The man came back out with Knicks gear on. Oh my God. The man came back out with Knicks gear on. What's even more criminal and nasty work is that the New York Giants stadium is actually in New Jersey, where Cat is from. That's the nasty work about it. So it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. For a player who has had little to no missteps since he's been here, Cat has been impeccable with his image, his transition. Like he has read the room perfectly. But for this one, my guy, nah, you were wildin'.
Nah, son, nah, you wildin'.
And that is it. That is it for Knicks Deli edition. Sacramento Kings, New York Knicks tonight at 7:30. Check it out. Listen, it should be a great game. Enjoy. The New York Knicks, man. We're right where we want to be at this point in the season. We want to win every game going into the All-Star break. So I hope we win. I said it in my last video. I think you can almost start to expect that the minutes management between now and the All-Star game is going to be, is going to show. I think Tibbs is going to pull back and try to give the bench more playing time. At the same time, he wants to win, so he's going to do what he needs to do to win. But if they get a large enough lead to start up, he definitely will be bringing in that bench earlier, because his main goal is to get his team the recognition that they need. And that's to go into the All-Star break with participants. And the more shine they get, the more shine the team get. And the more things that pop up, like jersey sales, All-Star votes, etc., all of that comes with winning, as he always has preached. So, folks, that's it. Keep this in mind. Same thing applies to life that applies to our team. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. But remember this, whether it's out there in the real world or here in these YouTube streets, here in Knicks Deli, everybody eats. I'm your boy Shia, and I'm out. Peace.